The man looks at her breasts, and then his eyes drop to her hips. He nods. His face is red and coated with sweat. Her skin crawls. She can't help but shudder with disgust. The man notices. His expression grows dark and menacing, and his eyes narrow. It turns her blood to ice, and her skin breaks out in goosebumps. How can this be the same man she chatted with online? He seemed so friendly, so flirtatious and sexy. Now, take it off and lie face down on the bed. She does as she is told, and while she lies there breathing through her mouth because the bed cover reeks of something unpleasant, she thinks of her younger brother and her older sister, of her parents, and of how much she loves them. Then she thinks of her cheating boyfriend Flynn, and wonders if he's thinking of her. He is the last thought running through her mind before she feels a searing pain so shocking that her world turns black. 1. Sara. It's unusual for my husband to be home for dinner. For the past few months he has been staying back at work. He normally arrives sometime after 9 p.m, and by then I've already eaten. "Do you like the flowers, Sara?" Edward asks, his green eyes gleaming with self-pride. "See those yellow ones buried in the greenery there? The most expensive bloom in the shop. The florist explained to me how rare they are right now. Primrose lilacs." He pours himself another glass of red wine and tops up my untouched glass, then winks at me, his expression one of smugness. My husband should know by now that rare and expensive things don't do a thing for me. I can find just as much joy in admiring a pretty weed or the clouds in the sky, and it costs me absolutely nothing. "Yes, they are lovely," I say, eyeing the sweet-smelling flowers nestled in the floral arrangement Edward has placed in a crystal vase on the table. "Thank you," I say, cutting into my steak. It took me years to master the art of cooking expensive meat, and no matter how many times we have it for dinner, I always take great pleasure in the way my knife slices through it like butter. Edward doesn't touch his food. I know he's waiting to ask me something. The wine, the flowers, being home for dinner. He's setting me up to say yes to whatever it is that he wants. "So, my parents would like us to stay over for the weekend?" he asks, before taking a huge gulp of wine. He should take it easy on that. I've noticed how ruddy his cheeks are becoming. My fingers tighten around my cutlery. "That sounds nice, but I've been asking you for weeks to come with me to visit my mother, and you're always finding excuses. Now you suddenly have time for a whole weekend away with your parents." Edward's face drops, and he turns his head for a moment, but I can still see him roll his eyes. "Your mother lives in a one-bedroom apartment. I can't sleep on a fold-out couch. I've been brought up in king-size beds my whole life, Sara." I'm tempted to say, "Poor you," and offer him a tissue, but instead I chew my food. He finally slices into his steak and pops a strip of medium-rare meat into his mouth. "You and I have vastly different standards of comfort, Sara. Be reasonable." When I first met Edward, at a soup kitchen of all places, he the volunteer server and me the grateful and very hungry receiver, he wasn't like this, full of self-importance. In fact, I hadn't known he was from money until a month into our relationship, when he took me out to meet his parents for the first time. We spent the night at his family's luxury 4-story home, set on an acreage of walled gardens, which reminded me of my favourite childhood novel, The Secret Garden. To say I was wowed by the lifestyle and comfort Edward had been blessed to grow up in would be an understatement. And because I'd been estranged from my mother at the time, and living out of my car, spending my nights keeping warm in the local 24-hour McDonald's, stepping into Edward's beautiful home and into the warm embrace of his mother was heaven-like. So it's not that I don't wish to see his parents or visit their lovely home. Edith and Geoffrey have always been kind towards me and treat me like a daughter. It's just that these weekend stays usually add to the pressure of what is already a highly stressful and sensitive situation Edward and I have found ourselves in. You see, we can't have...